Tape 1, Side B, Monday the 17th of October 2011.
There is, of course, a question that comes down to what things you would like to do before you die. And there is like, half of your mind is like, thinking about stuff, this great big fucking massive plan, and in the background your world is being slowly but surely pulled from under you, and you can't see that, because when you, there's been a few times when you've seen that, and you know where you've been, you know what you've been doing. Now that's a double whammy. Remain on these fields, you know. It was the same with working, really, wasn't it? And maybe even the flats of Holland and walking around Upper Orchard when you were there as well. It's the same, it's restricted to little local walks, achieving nothing and actually struggling to come to terms with life. That's what it comes down to. You're not drinking at the moment. When you were, you're doing even worse. I mean, you're able to communicate. But, you know, now, there has to be people living around you, you know. You're at that age now. So there has to be, and I remember Dad saying, you know, you disappear, fuck off for a while, come back on TV and all that shit. A list of things you want to do that are actually achievable before you die, before you leave this world. What way is that from the fantasies of May and all that stuff? I mean, it's so fucking off the wall. I mean, that is curling away to a self-fulfilling prophecy of, you know, maybe where you want to be. Yet every day there's huge opportunity with those meds you've been given to completely, utterly change your world around and to be earning, you know, God knows what the money. And knowing it is the first, as I almost said, microstrategy. Knowing that is the first fucking step. Coming, they're all successful journalists, kids, they got cars, they got international travel, they know hundreds of people, and there's you philosophizing about very so-called narrow issues, claiming to be some sort of knowledgeable person. You'll probably get pissed and, you know, other people as well. I mean, it's actually, it's all set to be a diabolical situation, because don't forget, you haven't seen your brother. You haven't seen Lawrence or Matt or any of that lot for, 2 or maybe 3 years. And, you know, this is a time where, I mean, Lawrence must be thinking, what a twat. What a loser. You know what I mean? Like, he's 5 years younger than you and has achieved 1,000,000 times things more than you have. So, you know, not to beat oneself up about stuff too much, but at this moment in time, you're a complete fucking loser. And it's only through love get yourself some sort of operating position, and that cannot continue that in itself. It's, you heard on the radio, people who take these sorts of drugs don't live as long as other people. So I mean, man, this is overwhelming, completely a nightmare. It really is. Let's see what you can achieve today. It's 9:45 now. 12 hours time, it'll be 9:45 p.m. In 10 hours time, it'll be 7:45 p.m. 10 whole hours. In 8 hours, a typical shift, it will be 6:45 p.m. And in that time, people will earn £65 minimum. And they do that every day. The dad said to you on the phone when he visited you, about 4 years ago now, when maybe he visited you up in Chingford or dropped you off, or I don't know, you were doing some trip around London or something, and he said the only way out of your shit is to fucking do some sort of robbery or something. And now, thinking it's the only way out of this shit is to fucking win the lottery. One can only imagine. Holy crap. Okay, well, maybe I'll give you some bit of optimism today. Maybe you should have a little write about something that you would do immediately, within an hour. If you're going to win the lottery. It's quite exasperating now, and the three, I've definitely seen three, and they've definitely kicked in. And even then, it's oh dear, oh god, oh shite, and that's amazing. The amount of power in that stuff is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Anyway, I guess this phrase, he's various mental tricks in the past. I mean, for good or for bad. And one of them was when he used to take this walk that you're on right now, just crossing the bridge. He sort of visualised it. There was a different world out there to be had, which is true. And you remember you're on the I don't know, that legendary walk, I suppose. Can only be referred to as a legendary walk. You've had a few legendary walks, but again, you have this ability to recall this stuff and focus on it in maybe greater detail when you're on these meds, so that's something you should be taking care of. But anyway, listen, let's get back to it. On that landmark walk that you did, where it was, I suppose, focusing on the blue thing, the tracks that you've done in the past, and even that seems a bloody light year away, it really does. But I try to go back to the point. You walked around Hackney, spoke to a few people, you felt reasonably alive. It had quite a lot of Dr. Pepper, I seem to believe. Food for thought, I guess. But there was an overwhelming thought in you that, oh yeah, you were concentrating on the MBS for such a long time. Getting that MBS thing together for such a long time. And it was like, okay, I'm now on a walk, or I've now been to my studio or something, and you basically visualised what you wanted to do. And then, I mean, you visualised stuff in the past, and you've actually, a visualisation, you've talked about this before as well. If you visualise something, it's more likely to come true, because you've already visualised it, so you can see it actually exists in the mind's eye, but B, you can then work towards it. And on that day, in the mind's eye, you had this sort of like studio scenario set up similar to what was in Holland. You know, not too sophisticated, quite basic, and again, you know, with this level of meds, we have an amazing power to do video, what do we call it, video journeying, and as I'm talking along now and walking to you, I can literally step into cavern, go downstairs, you know, and I can walk around there, and I can go to that back room, where it was all just taking off. And you visualise that, a room similar to that 10 years later. Okay, well, I know you're on the verge of turning back, and you know, the feels didn't really help today, let's face it, nor did anything else. But you got over the bridge past the, what's it called, the laundry person, and now you're on that little walk you're on the Downs, and it's so nice to be here. You know, there's a whining and a fan in the background, but tell you what mate, this beats the fields. Forget the fields from now on. Forget it. Just forget it. It's much nicer to be here. Much nicer to be here. I will appreciate you. What a fucking nightmare you're in. And you know, remember when you were working towards Christmas with £2 grand. If you could do that, if you could walk up at Christmas, doesn't matter if you have to hitch your lift down. Doesn't matter if you're late, doesn't matter if you miss your ticket, doesn't matter if you fuck up on National Express. If you make it down to Horwithy, right, at Christmas, even if you're 2 days late, 3 days late, even if you're there for a day, half a day, whatever, if you arrive at Upper Orchard at Christmas with £2 grand in your back pocket, yeah, your whole life will change. I can absolutely assure you your whole life will change. Now, what is it, 16th today? It's the 16th of October. 16th of November will be 1 month. 16th of December will be 2 months. That's the 16th. So you've got 2.5 months. That is, each day, each month is approximately 30 days, so that's 60 days. You've got 45 days to do this. And think about it, all this fucking thought and stuff is going on. You cannot do that. I think maybe this is the ultimate test. I really do. I think that this is the ultimate test. Even a menial council worker on £60 a day is going to earn that sort of money in that time. Yeah? And they don't even need to think about it. They don't need to worry about it. They can still go down to the pub and you know, do anything. They probably still have a couple of holidays in the meantime. And in the meantime, of course, man's evolution will continue, things will be built, lives will be built, people will die, but at the same time people will be born. There'll be new drugs, new medications, new remedies, new solutions, new cars, new ways of saving fuel, new solar panel things, new fracas in the news, new dramas, new war, but the world will move on in so many ways. Now, Russell, you cannot take £2 grand to Upper Orchard at Christmas. I don't want to be funny, but there might not be any point in carrying on. You know, if you need this amount of medication and this amount of financial help from your family, take in these notes, I really do. You should catalogue these, you should record them into the computer. You need like a mini jack which you throw away in madness. And you need to be able to record this stuff. Now why don't you take one of those jacks, right, and swap it with that guy. And let's not forget it, yeah, you've taken loads of notes and stuff, and you've like got all these lists of things, which is, you know, probably true if you dig enough into your mind, but the other thing is you've had this massive journey that you embarked upon to get to a certain level, and yet you then saw it all completely disappear. You know, remember the times maybe where you were doing this dubstep stuff and trying to merge sort of trance with sort of dubstep at 140 and stuff, and you know, there was this massive challenge, and Ed State sitting in Nero and working on the MySpace thing and all that, and just times of getting tempo sorted, you know, and, you know, not being really, everyone giving you a lot of actually positive stuff on the internet for a lot of the stuff that you've done, from Without You, that mix to the Lenny thing, Lennox thing, and, you know, a lot of stuff, and yet, when it came down to it, your soul just basically rejected all of it. Rejected all of it. And then, you know, despite all of this, and despite being on 3 minutes, we haven't even spoken about the whole New Deal thing. And, you know, the position you're at now with the computer with bits on the floor, the fact that you've got a moral obligation to help things out, I mean, that doesn't even figure in it. It's as if, like, your mind is shattered in a million bits. And, you know, it takes, I don't know, maybe it takes audio notes to get this all down. But it's quite shocking. It's quite shocking. And let's not forget that the New Deal thing was, you know, an amazing piece of luck getting on that. And believe it or not, whether you were there or not there, it was 13 weeks? 16 weeks? Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. All I can say, mister, is that you haven't got fucking hope now. If you carry on, well, not that you're drinking at the moment at all, but if you carry on and sort of, you know, not taking advantage of the full medication you are being, you know, prescribed, you've not only got, well, it's a double lose, I think it's a double lose situation. A, you're going to fail to even see the position that you're in, but B, you won't be able to react to it, so you won't be able to get a solution to it. And if it takes 3 to begin to appreciate this, and let's just appreciate the original dose was 5, yeah? The original dose was 5. So, you're gonna have to take the dose that's prescribed. I know it's part of your soul, doesn't even want to take these meds, but fuck. Fuck the position you're in. And you know, it's like, my nose is quite shy, but there's like 2 hands reaching out to you. One's the devil saying, look, this is the position you're in, it's fucking on being a pisshead and a twat and all that stuff. And yet there's the other part that fits perfectly in with the journey, saying, you know, when you suffered dramatically to get, you know, even this level of, you know, get the medication and all that thing, and you haven't even mentioned that either, which is quite amazing. It's as if you're sleeping. But, oh, it's interesting. But basically, it's like you're also being given often these medications as a massive, massive, massive opportunity for change, to be able to change it all around. For some reason you're using, I don't know where and why and how it comes, but for some reason you're using the hand of the journey, the hand of opportunity, the hand of change. You're using that hand in a negative fashion, a very negative fashion, which is, you know, absolutely bizarre. It's actually very worrying, and I'm not surprised at all that your soul is tired and exhausted and knackered, because this is the crux of the whole thing. Despite everything, despite all the financial things, despite Christmas, despite you being a complete and utter failure and all this stuff, bottom line comes down to, and this is the crux of everything, not the crux of your music, but the crux of everything. The bottom line comes down to the fact that you
battery's gone, has it?